everybody and welcome to episode 13 of Pins and Needles, my knitting, sewing and crafty podcast. My name is Zoe. You can find me on Ravelry as BFG and I'm on Instagram as Pins and Needles UK. Big welcome to any new viewers and welcome back to any of my regulars. I'm trying a new setup this week. I've been using my laptop webcam up until now and the quality really wasn't that fabulous. So today I'm recording on my mobile phone and I've bought a fancy little grippy tripod thing, but I'm not sure how much video I can record in one go. So if there are any slight technical hitches, please bear with me. Maybe I'll have to film this in segments and stick it all together at the end. So I will do my best. First up, I wanted to dive straight in with the competition winner. I set up my Ravelry group last episode. By the way, go and search for the Pins and Needles podcast group on Ravelry in the forums tab. And if you wanted to be in with a chance of winning this lovely Ericanite Gossypium cotton DK yarn, all you had to do was go and leave a comment in any one of the threads. So I jumped onto randomnumbergenerator.org earlier today, and the thread that it picked out was the general chatter thread, and it picked out post number 6. So congratulations to coffeeknitrepeat, who is Sue from North Carolina. Hi Sue, congratulations. Chuck me a message on Ravelry or Instagram, let me have your postal address and I will send you off those lovely balls of cotton DK. If I haven't heard from you within a couple of days of this going up, I'll message you myself and send you out your prize. Thanks to everybody who joined the group. I was super nervous, but you've all been fantastic and really welcoming, so thank you for that. Right, so the last time we spoke, Dave was in Las Vegas and I was handling things like a trooper. He had a lovely time and he is home safe, and he bought t-shirts for the children and had a fantastic time. So that was brilliant to have him back home. I finally got some sleep, which is always good. I am recording this a few days early. Today is actually Wednesday the 26th, although I will be hopefully making this video live on Saturday morning as usual. But a little bit of sad news. I've mentioned before on the podcast about my grandma. She taught me to knit and always loved my projects, and unfortunately she passed away. It was the Saturday when Dave was still in Las Vegas, and she just went peacefully in her sleep. So I loved my grandma very much, and it was hard with Dave being away and I had to tell the children. So this Friday is her funeral, which is why I won't be able to podcast on my normal schedule, so I'm recording this a little bit early. She was a wonderful woman and she lived to the age of 91, and she was a sort of Second World War battle axey matron type who had a wonderful life. So whilst we all miss her very much, I think she had had enough, and she always loved hearing about my crafty endeavours and seeing all my projects, even when she got a bit too blind to keep on knitting herself. So this one's for my grandma. Right, let's get on with some cheerful stuff and head into pins, my sewing section. Now, because of all of the shenanigans with Dave being away and then heading home to see my mum after grandma died, I haven't actually sewn anything. I have taken the sleeves out of my terrible shift dress. I was hoping to get that reworked in time to wear to the funeral on Friday, but I'm not going to manage it. I will get back to it. If nothing else, Grandma would be horrified at the waste of fabric if I didn't at least try to resurrect it. So I will have a go. But I mentioned last episode that I had my crafty revenge when I Skyped Dave in Vegas, and I was heading to work in the dark at 5:30 in the morning, and he was drinking beer with all his mates in Vegas. So all of the revenge craft purchases have been delivered. So I've got a few things to share with you today. So first of all, I treated myself to Tilly and the Buttons Agnes pattern. I love Tilly patterns. They're super clear. The paper is really thick, good quality paper. And I've heard lots of really good things about this pattern. So it's a basic jersey t-shirt, long or short sleeves. I'm not sure if you can see, might be a bit easier to see on the line drawings. Can you see that there's ruching in the middle or on the sleeves? Now, given my pleated sleeve disaster of just the other week, I don't think I'll be going for ruched anything, to be honest, at least not at first. But yes, I ordered the Tilly and the Buttons jersey top pattern. I think this will just be a really nice wardrobe staple. And I've mentioned my local fabric store before, which is Butterfly Fabrics in Cardiff. They had a fire a good few months ago, and they have 2 shop fronts, and they're closing one side down and moving into the other. So they're having a rather marvellous fabric sale. So when my pattern had arrived, so I knew how much fabric I needed, I popped into Butterfly Fabrics and bought this. Now this is a gorgeous jersey t-shirt fabric. I think I've still got, I bought some matching thread. I haven't had a chance to wash it yet, but it was £4 a metre, which I thought was just fabulous. So I bought 2 metres, which hopefully will be enough for one for me and one for Jocelyn. So yeah, that's coming out quite nicely for the colour. It's a nice tealy blue with little hearts on. I quite like it. I don't love it, but for £4 a metre, it will get me a nice wearable toile. So that's going to go to the top of my list. So that's my Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top. And then again, I mentioned last time that I wanted to make some pyjamas. So this Butterick pattern, B5537, and I'm going to make the long version. It's a unisex pattern, so I can just take it in. And I found some nice floral fabric from eBay. I put a picture up on my Instagram feed at the time when I ordered it, but it finally came through. Sorry, I bought loads of it because it was dirt cheap. Oh, and this. There we are. That is, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is going to be my pyjama fabric. Last time I showed you a pattern sheet that was Grandma's actually. And that's going to be my wearable toile. And then once I've got any pattern issues sorted on that, I'll make it up in this. I've never sewn from a Butterick pattern before, so I'm not sure how my sizing is going to go. They often come up quite large. And given that a pyjama top with lapels and buttonholes is quite complicated, I want to practice on the sheet before I make my final version. So this is a lovely brushed cotton, which we call winceyette in the UK. I don't know if you call it that in the UK, in America as well. So yes, lovely little cream and lilac and pink flowers. So super pleased with that one. Oh, and then the other thing I treated myself to, for any new viewers, my husband and I run a gym in Cardiff. So my work uniform is gym leggings and hoodies with the gym's name on the front. And I'm 6'1", so I really struggle to find gym leggings and things that are long enough. And now it's getting into winter, I can't wear my short gym leggings anymore. I want some tracksuit bottoms. So my rule is that if I can sew it myself, I'm not allowed to buy it. The only exceptions are underwear and coats and things like that, really. So I found the Hudson pants pattern by True Bias. And look at that. That is a super easy jersey joggers pattern. So I've seen these made up as pyjamas, I've seen these made up as tracksuit bottoms. People have done colour blocking with the sort of the little pocket inserts and things like that. So that's the Hudson pant by True Bias. Super easy. I don't mind a PDF pattern, I quite enjoy cutting out, and I like the fact that I can chop it up and still have a nice version to print off. So that's also going to the top of my queue. The weather has got quite cool here recently and it really is quite drafty in my gym leggings. So there's that as well. I did also, what else? Oh yes, also from Butterfly Fabric, I bought New Look 6298. Now again, super simple, but it's just a fabulous jersey dress tunic pattern. It's got long or short sleeves, high necks, round necks, and this version here has got a sort of a separate band at the bottom. And I just thought this would be really cozy for autumn winter. And it says stretch knits only. So double knit, interlock, jacquard, jersey, single knit, terry knit, two-way stretch, things like that. So yeah, you only need 2 meters. And it should be super simple to make. So depending on how I get on, I might use some stash fabric for this. But yes, I went on a bit of a buying frenzy, but I think that will be dead handy. I also treated myself. I don't usually buy sewing magazines. Between my online subscription to Seamwork and reading blogs and watching other people's podcasts, I get all my sewing news from there. But occasionally I buy a magazine if it comes with a nice free pattern. So this is the November issue 91 of Sew magazine. And I bought that because it came with New Look K6411. And again, it's a super simple shift dress pattern. This blue version has got zips in the raglan detailing, which I don't think I'll be doing that. But it's quite a nice standard pattern. I like the look of this one. 2 different options for sleeves there. And again, you can make this in cottons, crepes, double knits, Ponte Roma. So again, super handy pattern. And, you know, a magazine as well. So that was a nice hour's reading in the bath. So I might have spent my craft budget for the next 2 months. I have no idea when I'm going to have the time to sew all of these things up. We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully things will quieten down. We've got the funeral this weekend. Work is back to normal in November. The kids go back to school because they're on half term this week. So I can crack on with some of those bits and pieces. So yes, that was sewing. On to needles, my knitting bit. I have a finished object. I think you probably will have seen this because I chucked it all over Ravelry and Instagram, but I have finished my Epistrophy cardigan. Now last time I showed you, I had done one of the button bands but not the other one, so that I could show you the steeking process, and I was very undecided about the buttons. So I had 2 choices, and you guys all voted about 50-50. Half wanted the plastic hobbycraft buttons that I ended up using, and the other half liked the coconut buttons with the little knit stitches on. Well, I couldn't decide. I really couldn't decide, and I was desperate to finish the cardigan. So what I did in the end, let me just undo the poppers, then I can show you, is this. So I decided against doing buttonholes at all, and I bought some navy grosgrain ribbon and I sewed it onto the back of both button bands. I didn't trim the steek. In the pattern you're supposed to trim this steek right back and then sew ribbon to cover that up, but I didn't. It's tidy enough. So instead I sewed the ribbon down both button bands and put poppers on, because then I thought I can sew on one set of buttons and I can live with it for a week, and then if I change my mind I can use the other buttons instead. The issue was these were quite large buttons and the other ones were much smaller, so if I'd done buttonholes to fit one, it would be too late to change my mind. So anyway, I went with the Hobbycraft buttons. I was very pleased with those. I'm going to stick with these in the end. I hand sewed on the ribbon. I've mentioned before Kate Davies's tutorial on her website, katedaviesdesigns.com. If you search for steeking tutorials, she talks you through this. It's not complicated. I just whip stitched it on and then sewed on the poppers. And it gives a nice firmness to the button band. So it's not going to, you know how sometimes cardigans can pull across the chest. I don't have any pulling, and I'm very pleased with the buttons. I haven't managed to get any properly modelled shots yet. I just haven't had the time. So yes, this is finished. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I did do quite a few modifications. I've talked about them on previous episodes, and I will try and update my Ravelry project page. I'll type them all out there. So if you're interested, you can have a look in that. Give me a couple of days to get them up. Basically, I knitted several different sizes because I am several different sizes. I did contrast, cast-ons and bind-offs. What else did I do? Oh, the main thing is quite a few people that made this pattern said that the funnel, the ribbing for the neck stood up like a funnel. So lots of people suggested, you know, far more decreases around the neck before you started the ribbing to make it lie nice and flat, and I did that as well, and it all sits beautifully. So when it came to blocking it, I used my sachet of soak wash that I got from the Great London Yarn Crawl. That was fig scented, which it smelled okay, I suppose, and all I did was soak it, and then I rolled it up like a burrito in a towel and trod on it to get all the water out. And then I just laid it out flat to dry. I didn't pin it, I didn't stretch it, I just laid it flat and let it do its thing. And it's come out beautifully, so I'm really, really pleased with that. I've been working on it for a good few months, and I'm glad I took the time to finish it off nicely, so that's fantastic. I've also been working on my blanket squares. Just a quick flash. This is the Stitch in Time blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast. I'm not quite the full shilling at the moment, I'm afraid. So I showed you this last time. This is my set of minis from Mothie and the Squid. 31 stitch mitered squares, and then I've just been edging it in undyed Owlabout yarn sparkly merino nylon sock, and I've done the borders on my Joe Knit Sew minis now as well. Sorry, I'm still learning where the camera bit is. It's different to my laptop, so keep covering up my face. So yes, that's that one. And I'm trying to do a different indie dyer for different blocks. So I've got Joe Knit Sew, I've got Mothie and the Squid, I will have Owlabout yarn, I'll have Colinette, and other things. So as you can see, I've got lots of dangly ends to weave in. I might take those up with me to Mum's when I go up for the funeral, because that's fairly brainless. Oh, I haven't showed you Dave's socks for a while. My husband has feet the size of canal boats but loves hand knit socks, and he asked me if I could knit him some red socks for Christmas. So I foolishly said yes. So I'm knitting them in Drops Fabel. It's colour 106. There's the yarn label. And the colour is just called red. It's not terribly imaginative. And the pattern I'm using is the Blueberry Waffles sock pattern. I can't remember the name of the designer, I'm sorry. I'll put it in the show notes down below. I forgot to say, timings, show notes, links, details, all down below. And I will also put this information up in the episode thread in the Ravelry group. So yes, here are the Blueberry Waffles socks. This is the first one. I've got quite a bit more knitting to do. I'm nearly at the toe. He has size 11 feet, so I think I have to knit to 8 3/4 inches or so before I can start the toe. Now, Drops Fabel comes in 50-gram balls, so I bought 2, and I don't think I'm going to get one sock out of the whole thing. That's how much yarn I've got left, and I've got I've got about another 3/4, I dropped my yarn. I've got about another 3/4 of an inch to knit on this sock before I start the toe. But I've got a load of spare grey Regia Forfadig yarn. Again, I don't know the colourway, so I'm hoping that I can just do the toes in grey and pretend that that was the plan all along. But I love the pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a 4-stitch repeat, and it's that perfect blend of interesting enough to keep you knitting, but not too complicated. So I've been knitting this on the commute into work, or when I'm a bit too tired to knit anything else. So I need to be getting a crack on with these though, so I might try and pick up the pace on those. The other thing I've been knitting, Mum, if you are watching this, stop watching this until I say, because these are for you and it's a secret, so stop watching. Have you gone? Right. I haven't shown these for a while, but I am knitting my mum some colourwork mittens. The pattern is by Barbara Gregory and it's called the Perianth Mittens. I'm knitting it in West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply, signature 4-ply yarn. Again, I'll put the colourways down below. Now her birthday is in about 4 days' time, and I was really hoping to get these finished, but I'm not going to manage it, I'm afraid. I'll do my best, but they won't be complete. That's how far I've got. So it's a lovely floral design. It's different on the front and the back, but both mittens are knitted the same, so it's not a left and a right mitten particularly. These are 2.75mm Knit Pro Symphonies. The pattern does come in several sizes, but you just alter the size by altering your needle size, so it's not too complicated to adapt. So I've only got about another dozen rows till I finish the top and then the thumb. So I'm hoping if I can just have one finished, then I can give her an IOU for the next one. Bear with me just 1 second. Just go away, please. No. Sorry. Right, so yes, that's the mitten pattern that I'm knitting for Mum. So maybe if I did nothing but knit between now and Sunday when her birthday is, I could get them finished, but I don't think it's going to happen. So yes, that's my other knitting project. Let me tuck those away. The last thing I wanted to share with you is I've mentioned before that I take part in a monthly thread on Ravelry, and there's hundreds of us that take part in the thread, and there's a lot of chats and you show off your projects and works in progress and things like that. And if you like, when you finish an item, you can put your name in the hat for a prize, and all of us knitters that take part, and crocheters and spinners and sewers, we donate prizes. So sometimes I compete for prizes and sometimes I don't. There's always patterns and yarn and stitch markers and things like that. But in September, I won a prize. So having had a very miserable 10 days with Dave being away and losing Grandma and Max being sick, it was all a bit of a mess. The very lovely Kathy, who is Shake Your Booties on Ravelry, had donated a prize and I won, and it arrived at work yesterday. Now Kathy is a wonderful designer of baby booties, really funky ones, daffodil ones, New York taxi ones, Gansey booties, all sorts. So if you need to knit baby booties, search for Shake Your Booties on Ravelry and they're absolutely fabulous. I've done a bit of test knitting for her, brilliant patterns, really brilliant. Anyway, I won this skein of yarn. Now it's by a pattern called Lichen and Lace, which I hadn't heard of, and the colourway is Sunburnt Lobster. It is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and it's 365 yards, which I think is pretty much 400 metres. Anyway, it's a gorgeous colour. Look at that. It's got purples and burgundy reds and yellows and oranges, and it's almost really deep purples I'm absolutely thrilled with it. So thank you, Kathy. So this was the prize. At the start of the thread, everyone that wants to donate a prize puts a picture up of what they're donating. So this yarn was the prize that I won. But being the super lovely person that she is, she sent me a gorgeous box of goodies that I totally wasn't expecting. So she sent me a little badge. Shake your booties. Kathy lives in America, but she's originally from Australia, so she sent me a kangaroo tape measure, which is rather handy because I've recently lost mine. And it's one of those ones where if you press the button, it goes back in. So that was fabulous. And she also sent me some sweets for my kids, some Halloween sweets. So we've got some Pop Rocks, pumpkin patch orange Pop Rocks. And we've got Peeps. We don't have Peeps in this country. We have marshmallows, but we don't have... And we have Flumps, which are like marshmallow twists, but look at that, Monster Peeps. So we've got Frankenstein ones, we've got Ghost ones, and we've got pumpkin ones. So yeah, pack for each of my kids. So I was really pleased with that. That cheered me up no end. So thank you for that, Kathy. And she very carefully wrapped them all in Ziploc bags. So I'm quite pleased. I've got some new Ziploc bags as well. Because who doesn't love storage as a crafter? Right, well, I think that's it from me. It is a quite short podcast. I think I'm only about 25 minutes this time round. I'm sorry about that, but it has been a bit of a stressful time. So I hope you enjoyed a quick trot through my whips and my craft revenge purchases. I will try and upload this on Saturday, and let me know if you think the quality is better. Does the picture look better? Is the sound better? Let me know what you think about that. Sue, let me know your postal address so I can send your yarn off to you, and head on over to the Ravelry group and join us. Find me on Instagram, find me on Ravelry. And I will speak to you again in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully I will have some lovely things to show you. All right then, I will see you soon. Bye.